Welcome to the last video of the Chapter 10 Code With Me videos. This is actually more of a demonstration video than a Code With Me, but the concept is still the same. The first item we're doing is Activity 1011 and using the Can I Use website. So the first thing I want you to do is load up caniuse.com. So the first thing that's going to happen is that this big orange box should pop up with the autofocus in it. And what you can do is you can actually type in elements and tag types that you want to look up. So the first thing we're going to do is we're actually going to load up details. Now the good thing about this page or this site is that it automatically fills in and shows you pretty much what you want to see. So if you were just to type in DEET, it gives you a few options, such as array prototypes, sizes, etc., stuff you probably don't know anything about. But the more you type in, the less it'll show you because that's more specific. So in this case, it shows us the details and summary elements. If you wanted to do something like dates, that gives you more date and input types along with internal API, placeholder, etc. But in this case, we're just going to do the details one just to be on the safe side. So study the color-coded matrix of browsers and notice that neither Internet Explorer, which is this one, Microsoft Edge, nor Opera Mini support this element at all. Take some time to search for some other elements such as video, date value that we looked at before, and other items as well to show you exactly what it can and can't be used. Again, the green means that it is supported. Yellow or light green means that it has partial support. It's somewhat used, it's not really, and red means there is no support for it. If you see something that says TP, that means it's a technology preview. This version is being worked on and is not available to the public just yet. Versions that have numbers like Edge 18 are available in beta version to a certain select number of people. So hopefully you have a good idea about how to use this site, and if you find something you don't know exactly how to use, by all means, play with it, try it out, see what you can find out. For the next and the last activity, we're actually going to be working with polyfills. So if you go back to the little featured farm site and go to sellers, you notice that we have some details and summary items such as this. If you click on each, you notice that each are displayed and supported, which are great because this is Chrome. But if you open this up with Microsoft Edge or anything less than Internet Explorer on Windows 10, then you'll notice that the details and summary may not work. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to go and download and install a polyfill for our website. This doesn't have a lot of work, but hopefully this works for you. If it doesn't, don't worry about it because either you can't access it or for some reason you can't get to GitHub. This is just for informational and demonstrative purposes only. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to google.com and search for details polyfill. There we go. The first one that should come up is a site called GitHub. GitHub is a nice site for developers to use to store and publicly display a lot of their code. I'm on GitHub, a lot of other developers are on GitHub, and this gives you a good idea about how to use things and some different items you can use for open source technologies. But what we want is one that is specifically for RSTA Cruise, which is the one that came up, and details polyfill. Good. So polyfill for the HTML5, polyfill for HTML5, good. Again, if you can't access this page, what you can do is you can actually go to the details polyfill and find this page by itself, but only use this as a last resort. The one that is on GitHub is a highly recommended and much better resource for you to use. So if you click on the releases number, this number may be different from what you're looking at. This is just based on how many releases this person has done. You can click this and you can click download. In this case, the version is 1.1.0 and I want to download the zip version of that. I'm going to ask for to download it. Downloaded, open. There we go. Okay. So hopefully when you find the folder, it looks something like this. Now, we're going to actually drag the index.js file, so this one right here, out of the zip folder and into the accessibility folder. Now don't put it in the images, media, or transcripts folder. We're just taking this and dragging it into the accessibility so it's side by side with index.html. Once you're there, we're going to create a new folder, call it JS, and move that into the JS folder. You can do this all in one step if you want. I'm just doing it the long way. Okay, so now we go back to our browser and we go back to brackets because we're going to actually be installing this little JavaScript widget on our page. And I'm using installing as a very fancy word. So once we're on the seller's page, go to the right of the closing title tag and type in this specifically. This is how you actually add some JavaScript to your page using an external file. We'll get to more about external files once we get to CSS. So src equals js index.js closing script. Just like that. Nothing else, nothing less. So once you save that in Chrome, if you refresh, there's no visual difference. It still works the exact same way. But if you load this in Edge or a lower version of Internet Explorer, you will need to allow blocked content so that JavaScript can run. And now the details and summary work in the browser because the polyfill is added for the missing support. You can also do this for the date attribute as well, as we discovered from before, that having an actual issue with the browsers recommending a polyfill. Alright, that is everything for Chapter 10. Hopefully you learned something about this and have a good tool or a lot of tools to use. If you have any questions about anything covered in this video, any of the Code With Me videos, or any of the lecture videos in Chapter 10, please send me an email or hit me up on Twitter. I'll get back to you with the best possible answer. The next set of videos will actually be the Unit 2 project, which I will talk about next week.